All right, let's get started. It's the top of the hour. I like to get started and maybe shorten the calls a little bit if that's even possible. Christopher, how about you? Did you want to talk about any updates, first of all?
Well, yeah. I just wanted to talk about a couple updates, Michael. One is that the Relax product.
Hi, Billy Bensing here.
Hey, Billy.
Hello, Billy.
Welcome.
Thank
I just wanted to say that the Relax product is on special this month. So, you buy 3, you get 1 free, which is a good deal. You can either sell the extra product or give the extra product away to one of your friends. And if somebody has trouble sleeping, the cherry juice and the Relax pills is a real good combination that somebody can try. And they can use their $50 gift card and not pay too much extra and try 2 products and see if that helps them get better sleep. I know it does me. I take those Relax pills, and I do take the cherry juice. And let's see, the other thing, Michael, is, of course, the convention's in Dallas, so I'm seeing who can come to that. And I think that's about it. I'll make it real short. And then we were talking about, Michael, we could, put it up for questions right in the beginning, and then we can go into the questions, and if not, then we can do some kind of little training on whatever people want.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to add something to what you were saying about the tart cherry, the apothecary product, and the Relax product. I have experimented and taken them both. It is very effective. If a person, however, here's one thing I noticed, being a person who is hypoglycemic, and for people who are diabetic, I would not necessarily personally recommend the apothecary because it has so many natural sugars in it. Now, they are natural sugars. That's a big distinction I want to make. They are natural sugars, so they will not behave the same way necessarily for each person. But in case, for example, someone was diabetic and they didn't tell you, but they just, they didn't want to, or you didn't ask, or it never came up in conversation, but they then return to a conversation with you and say, wow, that keeps me up all night. It doesn't put me to sleep. That's certainly possible. That's what happened to me if I took it every night. If I took it and interlaced it one night off or one night on or 2 nights off and 1 night on, I could use the apothecary and the Relax. But just, at intervals, not always every single day all the time. So there's a lot of ways, again, to know your products. And by knowing your products, it begins with knowing yourself first and what you love most. That's what you can share most easily, what you love most. And that's a great place to begin when you start sharing your story and the products that have made such a difference for you for obvious reasons. Now, the Relax product, the beautiful thing about the Relax product is that it has the very specific effect of relaxing the muscles. That's the kava, the organic passiflora, have that effect. And that's why, of course, David Sandoval placed it in the bio line, because his intention, as it were physical or otherwise, was to relax the facial muscles. And by doing so, of course, we ultimately manifest beauty from the inside out, B-I-O, bio. So, the hyaluronic acid combined with the passiflora, the tart cherry, the kava root, they're all in the Relax. So, I would agree with Christopher that both products combined, might be quite powerful. Separately, they might be quite powerful. That is to say, just take one or the other, and or on different days. Experimentation is where it's at in the professional consumption of products with a company that you love. Get clear about what works for you. Share that excitement. That's where it starts. And then, these kind of calls will kind of fill you in on the exterior of it as to what else you can share and give people options, because that's all. We don't know. We can't know everyone else's experience. We can only know our own. And what's really important, and I just went through this with a friend of mine that's about to sign in with another friend of mine, and she's asking all these really good questions, and I hope Carrie's on the phone with us today. But Carrie was asking these wonderful questions, and one of the things that came up was, I'm going through all this right now. You know, all this stuff, and I'm not going to share all this personal information, but I'm going through all this, and I went to this nutritionist, and they gave me all this, and then this was the things she wrote up, and these are all the things I need to take. And she said, she was in our dialogue was making a point that I've got to get all this straight before I can talk to anybody. And my answer was actually quite specific. No, you don't. And here's why. You and what happens to your body or our bodies has nothing to do with other people's experiences of a given product or group of products. So we've got to yes, we share our story, our living story about our product experience, emphasizing the products, of course, that did us the best. But be careful not to get yourself in the way of what another person's story might be as it evolves. Because our story should not be superimposed on someone else's experience. And that's a mistake a lot of people make, thinking, I've got to get this, look, I got to solve these problems. And when I solve these problems, then I can tell everybody in the world. Okay, well, many of you probably on the line have had these experiences that I've had, for example, where people have even thrown up on these products. Okay? They've thrown up on the cleanse. Why? Because they weren't supported properly, they weren't guided properly, they didn't find out that you don't drink the apothecary straight out of the bottle, or whatever it was. I didn't prepare. I drank alcohol 3 nights prior to starting my cleanse I didn't do any preparation. I was drinking the night before. I can paint 1,000 scenarios that I've heard now over the last 2 years that are, well, almost borderline absurd in terms of, well, I can't talk to anybody about this because this is what happened to me. No, first get clear about what happened to you. Get clear, very clear about what happened to you on every level. And if you can't find the help through the Purium Naturopath, call me, call Christopher, call someone else, and get clear. Because if we superimpose our experience on others, it just doesn't work. And it does, especially for the person, in this case, in this example, that was trying to make a decision about wants to do the business, but wants to get all this stuff cleared out first. It doesn't work that way. Every one of us is on our own journey inside of healing. There could be chronic challenges that you're faced with today you will no longer be faced with 2 or 3 years from now. It may take that long for your body to shift physiologically and solve its own issues. The body does one thing that we know that is actually part of its healing capacity, which is it moves into chaos in order to heal. It's a quantum physics model. It's a quantum healing model. Our body must move into chaos before it heals itself. So whatever issues and challenges that you may be facing are not to be superimposed on anyone else's experience. And I pointed that out to her, and she finally got really clear that that's true. Oh, yeah, I guess I don't have to solve all this before I begin to talk to other people about these products. No. We're network marketers. We're not doctors. We're not healers. Even if you are an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, a massage therapist, or whatever you are that in the healing arts, that's not what you are, in essence, while you're representing the Purium company. You are a distributor for the Purium company that's learning and growing and on your own healing journey while you're doing it. That is a very specific experience, and it can't be superimposed. But what can be related and communicated is that, look, we're about something real simple right here. We've identified something that's truth for all human bodies for the most part. We need protein, we need vegetables, we need fruit. It's that simple. If you want to learn more, I really want you to look at this video. I want you to look at that. I want you to listen to him, to her, whatever. Go to a three-way and talk to Christopher, to Janae, to Anita. In other words, get ourselves out of the way again and recognize that we're all on an individual journey linked to each other's experience by virtue of the fact that we know that the most important thing we can do in our own lives is to become empowered about our health. The government isn't going to rescue our asses, okay? They don't care about our asses as much as they claim to. I'm getting a little bit out of on the political side here, but the bottom line is they have what is called acute care disease care system. It's plugging the dike when the dike becomes overwhelmed with water and the water starts pouring out. You all know what I mean. We want to solve our problems? Then we get empowered, we share our empowerment, and everyone as a society becomes empowered, and we create a market for empowered healthpreneurs. That's it. I'm telling you. That mindset and that experience we're all having on this journey together is what I'm talking about. The government ain't going to save our asses. And this is why, and this highlights this experience we're all having, what I call relationship to the noise that comes out of our those TV boxes. The relationship that we're all having to that noise right now creates a pearl of an environment for us to become extremely wealthy by helping others empower their own health care. We empower others by empowering ourselves. We create our own marketplace. Not the, what's it called, the marketplace for the health government, whatever it is, health.gov marketplace. Not that marketplace. That's a marketplace of disempowerment. That's a marketplace of reliance, or dependence, I should say. Although, in instances, it's absolutely imperative. When I was in my car accident and almost died, when I was coming home from a Grateful Dead concert, it wasn't great that I drove my car off the highway and almost killed myself and my sister. I was grateful that the ambulances were there. That is the system that they're trying to sell everyone is going to make our lives whole. Our lives are not made whole by systems of that nature, but they are important systems. I'm not downplaying the importance of those systems in our lives. They need to be there. I do hope that we're all insured, of course. But what's much bigger and far greater is the design that we create for ourselves and empowering ourselves and others in our communities. So I know I was a little bit strong and it was a bit of a rant, but I had to share that. And I don't know how I got started on that, actually. It all started with relax. I want to relax. But anyway, I think that probably I think most people on the line can probably relate to that. But I kind of went on, so I'm going to stop. Christopher, maybe questions or any comments in that regard?
Yeah, that was great, Michael. I appreciated that. Yeah, everything you said, I agree on. It's like the government's not going to save our quality of wellness or health. They're going to help us in crisis, but ultimately, we're responsible for our health, and I think that's where the big debate is right now in politics. One side says that it's the government is responsible for our health, and the other side, it's two extremes. So it's really just educating people and giving them the information so they can make a choice. So, yeah, why don't we open it up for some questions, and then we can see where that goes. So,
Hey,
go ahead.
Christopher, I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, it's Sherry. How are you?
Good.
Is that Dr. Fleischer? Dr. Mike?
I'm here on the line, but that was Christopher that was just greeting you.
Oh, yes, I know. I just want to make sure I was addressing the right person. So it's Sherry. We have some mutual friends from New Jersey. You might remember me from one of the conferences. Yes. Anyway, I typed a question there, and I have to jump off, but I started taking chlorella maybe in the last month or 3 weeks, and I've noticed that I'm getting itchy when I take it, and I just wonder if there's any correlation with that.
Oh, yes, there is. Yes, there is. Sherry, did you read the Green Foods Bible?
Oh, guilty. No. Even though I've been in the business for almost 3 years. Nope.
Okay, so I strongly recommend that you do, and/or you at least listen to the 5 email series that our good friend Joy Taylor created for all of us to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly urge you to do that. I strongly urge everyone to do that. That book is excellent. There are things in there I had no idea. And go right, you look up chlorella. Okay, but here's what I'll tell you about chlorella. Chlorella digs out a lot of the heavy metals out of our liver. And guess what happens when our liver is kind of overwhelmed? What do you think happens?
I'm not sure.
Very often, skin irritations.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get toxins coming through our skin. Our skin is actually the last place the toxins should be processed, through our skin.
Okay, I suspected it was something like that. So does that mean I should continue taking it or not?
Well, that's a great question. So what I would suggest that you do, first of all, without getting into too much detail, is it a rash or is it just kind of bumps or what's going on? I mean, it's just itchy area of your skin?
Just itchy, yes. Nothing, no eruptions. No, like right now, it's almost like a niacin flush. I'm feeling it in my cheek, in my back, on my trunk, I would say.
All right. How much are you taking? How many tablets are you taking?
Well, the dosage said 15, and I started with that, but I cut it down, and I probably take about maybe 8.
Okay, so what I would do is not take any. Wait for your itching to resolve. Okay. Let it resolve, and then gradually work it up from 1.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Because I know that there's a benefit, but, the itchiness is really, I have, yeah. It's I have an underlying, what do they call it, hypothyroid, and I get itchiness from that too, but I haven't for a long time, and it feels exactly like that. It's like a flush. And,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, so what I would say there then, because you just added something to the puzzle, obviously we're not taking any real full histories here. But when you're hypothyroid, as you know, there's imbalances in the T3 and the thyroid hormones, basically, right?
Right.
And sometimes with green food, that imbalance can also be an effect. Okay, so if it's spiking the hormones, okay, then it could also be coming from that. Okay, so again, but it begs again the same answer. Stop. Let it resolve. Don't take any more chlorella. Once it resolves, start with just 1 tablet. And just go and you can gradually up it and see if it starts all over again. Then for sure that maybe it's just not something that's working with your body based on the conditions of your body right now.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. In regards to everyone.
Yep. My pleasure.
Anyone else have a question? Yeah. That was a good question.
Questions, comments, anything, let's open up a discussion and see what we get.
Doesn't look like there's a question at this time, Michael. But there was a couple things that I wanted to just...
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Hi, this is Billy. Yeah, well, talking about chlorella, for some reason when I take it, I get sick to my stomach. And this has happened quite a few times where I really vomit seriously, like I have food poisoning, and it's the weirdest thing. I have no idea why this is happening. I don't have any problems with any other Purium products, but chlorella many times has made me made me throw up radically.
Well, yeah, well, that's a beautiful thing, Billy. That's a beautiful thing.
Really?
Be so candid with you. It's a beautiful thing because here's what you should immediately recognize.
What?
Your body's a miracle. It knows exactly what to do and what information to give you. That's obvious information. When anything traumatizes the body, you go back to zero with it. Okay, so you stop taking it. It's just not something that belongs in your body. Your body's giving you exactly the information you need.
Wow. Why would my body not like chlorella? I don't get it.
Well, your body gets it for whatever reason. Your body gets it.
Yeah.
Listen to your own body. There isn't any body. I said this earlier in the call. There isn't any single body that's the same exactly as the other. So because I can eat 20 tablets of chlorella, I can eat 40 tablets of chlorella. That doesn't mean you can.
Yeah.
For whatever the reasoning is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was very weird, so I just keep away from it. But
so two things.
I did have it in the beginning. I did take some chlorella and just take a little bit of it because it recommends starting slow with it and then adding more. So I did that, but then one night I took it and then I woke up. I thought I had food poisoning and I was really sick, and then I had no idea what the heck it was, and then anyway, so maybe I'm allergic to it or something strange. Who knows? But
it's one of those mysteries that you may not even have to solve in a lifetime. There's plenty of other green foods with chlorophyll in them that you can get from all the other many products.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was curious. You were talking about chlorella. I just thought I would throw that out there because I haven't really asked anyone about it.
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is Barbara, and while we're on the question of these reactions to chlorella, I just had a friend of mine who took the cocoa mint spirulina, and oh my gosh, total rash breakout on the body. I've never seen anything like it. They were not blisters. It almost looked like someone scratched, just took nails down her back, her arms, her neck. I mean, it was crazy. So
amazing, really, huh?
Yeah, really curious about that. She had mentioned that maybe it was the iodine. And again, I know this is such a personal thing. We aren't doctors, and she doesn't even know. She went to the doctor, too, by the way. There was no answer. But I'm just wondering with spirulina, too, if that, chlorella takes out the heavy metals. Does spirulina do the same thing?
Spirulina actually is... I'm just referencing some data in my brain right now. Sorry, I'm like a little computer sometimes, and I just glitched there. But spirulina has a lot of organic iron in it. It also it really helps protect against an overabundance of radiation. So if there was any kind of toxic load because of too much sun or overexposure to any amount of radiation, spirulina will kind of will protect. Now, all green foods have some amount of detoxing effect, to various degrees depending upon how much needs to be detoxed and how much you're actually taking of a particular substance, just like anything else, and not substance, but food. I don't like that word substance. So it could be any number of reasons, and it is difficult to identify exactly what may have happened in terms of that particular event. Again, always hard in the moment to identify. Now, if it came and went relatively quickly, remember, it's not always the cocoa spirulina mint. It could have been food she had eaten 24 hours earlier or 6 hours earlier that somehow had something in it that was actually quite toxic. So without knowing more about what actually happened and know the timeline and ask enough questions, and again, our job, regarding, being good sponsors and good networkers is to simply say to someone, if they do have some sort of response that's unusual, is to just stop what you're doing right now, let it resolve. Because these things do happen. We have toxic loads in our bodies of their various natures that they're either already in our bodies or they come from things that we've done, an event. So like eating some bad food. We've all experienced, every one of us has experienced skin eruptions, and we've looked at it and gone, well, what was that from? Am I right, Barbara?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that kind of chiming into what you had said earlier, that we all have our own experiences. And I have to remember, I've been taking spirulina pretty much for about 25, 30 years. And I have to remember, I think this call that's important is just because I have a good experience, my body isn't someone else's body. And I have to remember that. And I guess that I learned something about spirulina, that it does take out some form of toxins too. Like I always thought chlorella was more specific to the taking out the heavy metals. That I always was wondering the difference. And I've read, Dave's book, and he does talk about that too. But I think that's what opened up that question mark to me after reading his book, going, is spirulina along the same lines as chlorella as far as getting out toxicity in your body, right? They may do it differently, but I don't know if it takes out specifically the heavy metals, but it's like you're saying, it does take out anything that is toxic in your body too, right?
Well, they shipped in, when Russia had that huge nuclear accident, they shipped in tons and tons of spirulina. So it's definitely connected to radioactive exposure, and/or that could come from the sun, from being in the sun too long. That could come from someone who's under some sort of therapy because of a cancer. It could, there are exposures, and radiation, as hangs out in the body. It has its half-lives, and dependent upon what particles we were exposed to, right? So there's so many variations there that we can't really get into detail there, but I think you got it. You understand it, Barbara. So just know that, yes, spirulina can very often, help a person to detox out something that doesn't belong in their bodies. And again, if it gets too uncomfortable for someone while they're going through something like that, the safe thing to always respond is to simply say, yeah, you know what, I'd probably stop that for a little while and let it resolve by itself.
Yeah, and luckily she was smart enough to do that, and it took, about 5-6 days for it to go away, but she did exactly that. She arrested everything.
Yeah,
pretty
perfect.
Much
Perfect.
But so thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Christopher, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just something went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, well, then don't talk. You be careful. Go get some water. Is there any questions anybody else has, or any questions, comments?
Hey, Michael, I'm back. I got a little comment here, and then we can close the call if anybody doesn't have a question. But, I was hearing the call today and the conversations. It's really, this business is really an art form. You can forget about, this business is about selling. This business is really about, the art of creating relationships and communication. This business is about support, encouragement, community building. So when somebody says, I can't sell, I can't do this kind of business, then you can say, well, that's not the kind of business this is. That's the kind of business some people try to make it. But, the truth of the matter is, the kind of business we're in is, education, support, listening, communication skills. So, that's the kind of business we're in. And there's a lot of companies that have a lot of hype, and sometimes other companies can grow really fast, but they don't sustain and they crash. So, Purium is committed to their mission and their philosophy, and they attract good people. And there will be some people that, are high-pressured and project pressure on other people to try to get them involved or whatever. But that is not the business we're in. And I think this calls and the calls that we have every Tuesday, it's really people need the education, they need the support, they need the encouragement, they need the community. And really this business is about, in my mind, is creating new relationships and new friends that empower each other in one's life. And, like you said, I mean, we all have to figure out and take responsibility for our health, and we also have to do that in our relationships in our business. So this is a business that you master the art of communication and relationships. That's really what this business is about. And I think this business is a real art form. And that's what makes it exciting because, you can learn. You're always learning in this, and you learn a lot about relationships. And so I wanted to mention that, Michael, and also, I wanted to share a couple of testimonies. I just talked to Joel today, and he got somebody on the Core 3, and that person's life is just, shifted. It's more energy, clearer thinking, losing weight. So that person is really excited. So if we talk to 10 people and one person out of that 10, their life changed for the better, and they feel better, and they learn, that's what it's really about. And so those people, those experiences will happen. We just have to stay authentic and stay on course and not quit. And that's really the really key to this kind of business that we're in. It's a learning and it's a journey. And people grow in this business. I mean, Joel, he'll talk next week, but he joined the Chamber of Commerce, and now he's he's in some contest for some award, and he met this person at the Chamber of Commerce that had this great experience on the Core 3. So now that person will share their story, and people hear stories, and when somebody feels better and they're excited, people go, well, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I'm willing to try one product now, or maybe I'm willing to go a little bit further. Maybe I'm willing to listen to watch a video, or read some article that can educate me so I can feel better in my life. So that's the kind of business we're in, and it's not always the fastest way to the top, but if you just stay steady and you look at it as a journey and you build relationships and see how you can help other people in their life and send them some kind of education or inspirational thought or phone call or whatever that might be that shows that you care about them beyond just selling them a product, that's the kind of business that we're in. And so I just wanted to, bring a little clarity into that, because a lot of people, and then MLN has a bad rap, and I understand that, just like anything else, but that's not the business we're in. So just know that we're in the business of community building, we're in the business of relationships, we're in the business of improving our skills on how we relate to people. And people are reflection, so they'll show us points that we can improve on. And so basically you get all this, plus you get pure whole foods, you get a website, you get a shopping cart, and the rest is your destiny. And it's how you relate and connect to people out there in the world. So I just wanted to share that, Michael. And anything else from your end?
And I would just add one last thing, and that's something that kind of supports what I said earlier in the call. It couldn't be more perfect timing right now for empowered healthpreneurs to take up the flag, so to speak. And this is perfect timing for what Purium. It's no accident that Purium came around at this time, and it is perfect timing with everything that everyone is hearing about now. It creates such an easy conversational segue into, well, may I share my perspective on health with you? I always ask the question before I say anything. And that provides a perfect bridge to talk about what we have as a health solution. And then the rest of it, I'm just redoing my site, and I was just thinking about change, growing. Starts with change, it turns into growth, and ultimately you blossom. And when you blossom, you watch yourself. You watch your health blossom with youthful radiance as you learn how to share your story in a way that makes others take notice. So keep that in mind.
Well said, Michael.
God bless everybody. Thanks for coming to the call. Let's keep doing it and keep growing, sharing, and all that good stuff. Keep blossoming, everybody.
Have a great day, everyone.
Well, thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Michael, send the recording out when you have a little time, and I'll send it out to the group.
You bet I will. Okay,
Thanks,
Christopher,
Michael.
take care. See you
All right,
tomorrow.
have a great day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.